Laurence Fishburne, the iconic actor whose commanding presence has graced screens for decades, recently opened up about one of the most transformative chapters of his career, the grueling preparation for his role as Morpheus in the groundbreaking 1999 film The Matrix. Speaking at the prestigious Marrakesh International Film Festival, Fishburne delved into the physical and mental demands that he and his co-stars endured, painting a vivid picture of a training regimen that pushed the boundaries of what Western actors were accustomed to in the realm of action cinema. This wasn't just about getting into shape for a movie, it was a profound immersion into a new world of martial arts discipline, one that left indelible marks on his body and mind, even years later. The story begins in the late 1990s, when Hollywood was on the cusp of a revolution in visual effects and storytelling, courtesy of directors Lana and Lily Wachowski. The Matrix wasn't merely a sci-fi thriller, it was a philosophical odyssey that blended cyberpunk aesthetics with high-octane action sequences inspired by the fluid, balletic style of Hong Kong cinema. For Fishburne, stepping into the leather-clad, trenchcoat-wearing role of Morpheus meant more than delivering lines about red pills and simulated realities. It required him to embody a warrior philosopher who could navigate the dream world with precision and power. To achieve this, the production team brought in the legendary martial arts choreographer Yuen Wu-ping, whose work on films like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon had already set a gold standard for wire fu and intricate fight choreography. Fishburne recalls the initial trepidation in the air during those early training sessions. "We were essentially the first Western actors to work in the Hong Kong style," he shared, his voice carrying the weight of that pioneering moment. Yuen Wu-ping, a master of his craft with decades of experience shaping stars like Jet Li and Donnie Yen, approached the cast with a mix of skepticism and determination. He worried that these American performers, Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, and Fishburne himself, might not withstand the intensity required. Hong Kong action films demanded not just athleticism but an almost spiritual commitment to movement, where every kick, punch, and flip told a story of its own. To bridge this cultural and stylistic gap, Yuen insisted on treating them like elite athletes preparing for the Olympics, not casual gym-goers dipping their toes into fitness trends. The training was relentless, a daily gauntlet that started before dawn and stretched into the evening hours. Imagine a regimen designed for warriors of ancient lore. Hours of stretching to elongate muscles and joints, shadowboxing to ingrain muscle memory, and sparring sessions that blurred the line between practice and combat. Fishburne described having 2 personal trainers assigned to him, each one a drill sergeant in human form, barking commands and correcting form with unyielding precision. They drilled the actors on basic stances, progressing to complex combinations that would later explode on screen in scenes like the iconic lobby shootout or the subway showdown. Weights were lifted not for vanity but for functionality, building explosive power in the legs for those gravity-defying leaps, strengthening the core for mid-air twists, and fortifying the arms for the seamless delivery of blows. But it was the pain that Fishburne highlighted most poignantly, a constant companion that redefined his understanding of physical exertion. "And it was in the middle of that training I realized why they pay professional athletes so much money," he reflected, his tone a blend of humor and hard-earned wisdom. "Because professional athletes are always in pain. Not in pain sometimes, like when you go to the gym and then you're sore for a day. They're in pain all the time. This wasn't the fleeting ache of a post-workout delayed onset muscle soreness. It was a pervasive throb, a symphony of discomfort that echoed through every fiber of his being. Sore muscles screamed with each step, joints protested against the unnatural contortions, and the mind waged war against the temptation to quit. Yet, in that crucible of suffering, Fishburne found a deeper appreciation for the sacrifices behind sports icons like Michael Jordan or Serena Williams. The actors weren't just building bodies, they were forging resilience, learning to push through barriers that most people never encounter. Keanu Reeves, playing the messianic Neo, and Carrie-Anne Moss as the fierce Trinity, shared in this ordeal. Reeves, known for his own stunt work in films like Speed, threw himself into the fray with a quiet intensity, mastering the art of the bullet-time dodge. Moss, transitioning from dramatic roles to this high-wire act, had to overcome initial fears of heights and falls, her lithe frame adapting to the harnesses and wires that would suspend her in impossible poses. The trio trained in a cavernous warehouse in Sydney, Australia, the production's base, where mirrors lined the walls to reflect their progress and mats cushioned the inevitable tumbles. Yuen's philosophy was simple: repetition breeds perfection. They'd run through a sequence 100 times, tweaking angles and timing until it flowed like water. Breaks were minimal, often just enough time to gulp water and shake out lactic acid buildup before diving back in.